Well, how's fishing going right now? Well, we're doing the roller coaster. Went up, now we're going back down. Just the way the tides are. Daylight tides are coming again. So it'll be another couple days. Today, weekend right now. So another 3 days, we'll do the flip, get back on the night tides again. And we should start picking back up. We're getting there. It's 41 out here this morning, so I can play with them for a while. Oh, there's the hooch. Dropped off a lot since yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful day. Gotta love them blue skies. Well, it's water changing day again. I'm not gonna take you through all that process. That's in the last video or the video before it, something like that. But she's gotten nasty again, so gotta do it. I haven't sold yet this year. I'm still trying to gather some up. And the tank temperature is 50. The truck tank is 42, so I can't go from in there to out here. We're gonna have a bad day if I do that. Getting gross again. What really sucks is these eels are really lively, which is a great thing. That's what you want. But sometimes they're a little too lively. And as you're patting them around on the net, sometimes they'll go and jump and almost fly. And they'll miss the bucket and land on the floor. You know how fun it is picking up one of these off the floor? Yeah, that's a good time. Those little guys will fill that plug hole right up solid, I'll tell you. I don't know how many you could fit in there, probably about 40 or 50 of them. And they'll get in there and camp out. I'll show you what came out of that plug when it's done draining. I lost an eel this morning. Pick them up off the floor is pretty difficult, or off the ground, something like that, because you can't get your fingers around them, unless you got good fingernails. So this morning when I was down there in the brook screening out, I had my, I think it was the white net, and I was working with that. And one of them little buggers went flying. I mean, they'll jump like that far when they want to. And he went plop right back into the brook, right behind my foot. And the way he went, he was gone. Maybe I'll get him tonight. Losing an eel or two here and there, it's gonna happen. It ain't a big deal. But what sucks really bad, here's a small net that I built for people in the past. This one's actually a fake one, but anyway, it could be a working net if I wanted it to be. There's a guy that's been fishing in the same brook as me for a lot longer than I have. And the way he rigs his net is not the same way I rig my net. If you look at mine on my tail bag rope, you know, I'm tied off right here, right at the end. There's a slip knot, cinches out right up tight. Then my rope goes up and ties into the eye of another rope, and that rope goes up to my anchor. Well, the way he's rigged up, and he's done it for years, you can't get him to do anything different. Old dog, new trick thing, right? Is he has his anchor rope, and it comes down all the way to this point. He doesn't have an eye in it. He doesn't have two pieces of rope. It's one line. So right here, right now, he'd have a piece of string about a foot long tying this closed, okay? And then his anchor line comes down and he ties his anchor line directly to the end of the tail bag. Okay, it works. Well, when you start fighting hard currents and the current is trying to pull everything this way, you have to pull back on the net, try and untie a knot right here. You know me, I just go and I'm done. And then I don't have any stress here trying to untie the knot. That's how I do it. It's simple for me. Well, this guy had a bad day a few years ago. So the way he tends his net is he'll untie his anchor line. So he's got his little short rope, you know, maybe a foot long, 10 inches, something, tying his tail bag shut. Well, then to wash it out, because you get stuff all through the tail bag, you start on this end and you've got to get it all down to this end so you can dump it out. Well, if you watched me tend my net, I've always got my hand right around here. And, you know, it's bigger, right? Bigger hoops, bigger bag. And I'll start washing, wash, shake, 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 wash, shake. I've always got two hands on that tail bag, and one is always right there. Well, he doesn't tend his that way. What he does, and he still does this, is, because he's got his string there holding that shut, right? So he lets that just fly. He'll grab two hands up on this end, start shaking, start washing, trying to shake everything down, shake, 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 and eventually get it all down into this end, which is supposed to be shut. Well, his little string thing that he had on here tying it shut let go. He had a bunch of weight in there that morning. He does his routine, picks it up, starts shaking, trying to shake it down. And what happens? That string comes off. Everything he had in that tail bag in the brook, gone. That was a lot of money he just lost. You know, you make a trip all the way to your fishing net, you go down, fumble around with it, go to tend it, you get all to that point, and you dump it all back in the brook. Eels, everything, gone. You ain't gonna get them back because a little string right there that doesn't need to be there and that you're trusting to hold everything slipped off. Not this boy. This boy's always got a freaking muffled hand around it, so that ain't gonna happen. He's texting me. He must have been having some burning ears or something, knowing I was talking about him. I just pulled the last air stone out of this bucket. So I can't leave them in there very long, or they're gonna suffocate. Let's see what we got. Saw one jump right over the net there. Got the fishing back out of the red bucket. So that's what we got right there. We'll let that thick water drain out for a little bit. That's probably about a pound and a half, give or take. And that's been since the first day. Coming up on 2 weeks into fishing for a pound and a half of eels. Alright. Get him in the new home. Somewhere in this red bucket, there's another eel. I saw him go. Beginning of the season, 2 weeks ago, the price was $300 a pound. That's how we sell, by the pound. What everything's based on. Then it went to 400, 450. Then it finally creeped its way up to 6. Today's price, depending on where you go, 700. So what I just showed you there in that net, give or take, you know, you have to put them on scale, certified scale, and weigh them out. But give or take, you're looking about $1,000. Sounds like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But when you take it in consideration, it's taken 2 weeks, hundreds of miles of driving, all the time, screening, all the work that's gone into it. I'm now on my 3rd water change, I think, to keep these things happy. And you break all that down. So $1,000 if I sold right now is, you know, before expenses. That's before all your gas comes out. That's before taxes come out and all that. So by the time you pulled all that out, you're probably down, putting in your pocket, maybe somewhere around $550, somewhere in that neck of the woods, maybe $600. Not bad for 2 weeks' pay, huh? Tanks are all nice and clean once again. So till tomorrow morning. It's a little nippy out this morning, but it's another beautiful day in Maine. It's supposed to be sunny today, and it's gonna warm up. One of the guys just said, "You could tend your net in those boots." I said, "I can right now." So here's the trick. As long as I don't go beyond right here, I can get there with these boots with a little bit of room to spare. If I step over there, I'm gonna be really disappointed. I'm going home with a smile on my face. Bedtime eel check. I always do it. Well, they're not hanging out down here on this end anymore. They've all decided to move over here. Well, I'm early. I guess I'm gonna wait a little bit. That's okay. Getting there. Almost. There we go. We got them. Get them cleaned up and get out of here. Not as good as yesterday. Probably about half, but to be expected the way the tide's running right now. High water's after daylight. I just turned the air off for a second so I can get a better look in here, see how things are looking. It's kind of hard to see when you're looking through all the air bubbles. Looking pretty good. Got a few of them swimming around, as you can see. And then the rest, they clump up like that. Again, they crawl themselves into the drain hole. They're piling up in around the air stones. Same thing over here, piling in around the air stones. So all that brown is those little guys right there, just in a clump. Doing another eel check. Earlier, they were all down here. Now they're all over here. Kind of funny how they do that. Eel check is complete. Everybody seems all happy and snuggly in there. So we're getting to the point where I'm getting nervous. I don't have a ton of weight in there, but you can see I have some. So even though my air pump is on backup power, so if the power goes out in the middle of the night or whatever, sometime I'm not around, don't realize it, it's going to keep running. But still, you start getting some weight built up like that in the tank, and you're just getting nervous that something could happen to them. So, but the way the prices are right now, I don't want to go sell these off because, I can't replace them. So I only have so much on my quota. Well, we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.